Sidney? How did the few minutes that you spent on the ice feel?
Felt pretty good. It's nice to get back out there and first time, so take it in stride. But it's nice to get back out there.
So where does this mean that you're at? Are you symptom free, or they're controlled now, or what does this mean for you?
Yeah, symptoms have got a lot better, but no, I wouldn't say symptom free, but allowed to lightly exert, and that's positive. When you're sitting around for a bit, it's nice. The symptoms have been better, and it's nice to get that step out there on the ice. So we'll see how it goes.
Headaches, balance problems, that kind of part of it?
Yeah, a little bit less, but those are kind of general things, and that'll be the real test. The emotional stuff's kind of been the issue for the time before, and now going through it a bit now. So the good thing is I have a pretty good handle on it, and I was able to improve that. When I went to Atlanta, that was a big help in August. So I know I can handle that if I need to, if it comes to that.
What comes back to getting those treatments again, you mean?
Yeah, if need be. I think, like I said, I have a handle. It's not like I'm guessing as much at this point. So I know that that's something that can be fixed. I'm more worried about getting rid of the symptoms.
Is that likely to go back to the Georgia and do that?
Hopefully not. I mean, but the motion stuff is still a little bit iffy. So I want to make sure that I give it a fair shot, but at the same time, it's something that I know I can improve.
So when did you first speak with a doctor about taking this step today?
Even a couple days ago. So it's just it's nice to get out there. Obviously, there's some restraints too, but that being said, it's better than being on a bike or sitting around. So I'd much rather be on the ice.
Has last month been more frustrating for you than maybe even anything you went through last year? Just to finally be happy enough to get back to playing again, and then to have this happen. Has this been even more frustrating?
It's different. I wouldn't say more. No, I mean, I think at different points when I was going through, it was so new and so many questions and not a lot of answers either. So this is kind of a tough injury. It's not clear cut all the time, and now I think I know a lot more. I know a lot more about what I'm feeling and how to improve it. So I think being a little more familiar actually probably helps a bit. And at the same time though, it's tough to come back and be out, but I think I've got a bit better handle on it right now.
What do you think of all the plays we're going to see for you out there today, Sid?
Yeah, that was a nice gesture, and I think especially at a time like this, when things are tough and obviously some adversity with the injuries and with a few losses, we need to stick together. I think that was a good sign right there of sticking together, and whenever you have adversity, I think there's always times where it's kind of in question, or your team's in question, characters in question. I don't think there's ever been a point with our group, so it's good to see everyone sticking together, and I think we'll see the results out there on the ice.
How important was it for you to come on this road trip and support this team through this?
Yeah, I mean, the fact I'm able to skate is good, but you always want to be around them, and I think, whether you're winning, obviously you want to be part of that, but when you're losing too, you want to be there and go through it. So, I think for me to be here is hopefully good for both. I think it's good for me to be around the guys and, hopefully support them, and hopefully, they can see that, I'm getting closer and closer, so that's a good thing too.
Do you think the league is doing everything it can do to prevent head injuries, or is there anything more you'd like to see happen?
I think they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, they can only do so much. At the end of the day, it's up to us as players, and that being said, it's a quick game. There are things that can happen, but at the same time, I think they have done a lot of good things to prevent it from happening. And obviously, there has been some instances, but I think if that effort and that caution towards those things is there consistently, I think we're going to see a change.
You said the timing was interesting. Obviously, the doctors can tell you what you can do when and whatnot, but it just seemed like there was stuff out there that was reaching a really loud point in terms of social media and things, whether you were dogging it or not, whether there was a rift in this team or rift with you in the captaincy. What do you say to all that?
You know what? It's tough to even answer it because it's so, you know, it's so far-fetched. You know, it's like, you know, I would say to that, I'm not surprised that it's when we've lost 5 or 6 in a row. If we would have won 5 in a row, I don't think any of that stuff would have started. And, you know, let's be honest, the Steelers are out, and, you know, Penguins are what there is to talk about, and anything that can be brought up or started, especially given the situation, it's a pretty easy fit. So, been around hockey long enough to know that this stuff seems to come up when you're losing. So, you know, as long as guys don't get caught up in it, and I don't think they have, I think we're much better off not even listen to it.
Have you had any indication that anybody in the organization questions what your situation is?
No. You know, it's too bad we even have to sit here and talk about it, to be honest with you. It's not really even worth talking about.
Going through the symptoms that you did last year compared to this year, how much easier is it recognizing what you're going through this time around?
It's easier, having gone through it, but I don't think, as far as knowing what's going on, it's easier for sure. I don't think it's ever easy watching or going through this, but it's nice to have somewhat of an idea. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's just the way it is. But with these things, a lot of times there aren't a lot of answers, so to have some ideas is obviously a positive.
So there was something that was in the Post-Gazette a few years ago where you talked about a teammate having a concussion. You talked about when you were 11 or 12. I guess you hit your head playing wall ball, and at that point you thought maybe it was a concussion. Was that just not a non-diagnosed concussion, or what? A lot of people wonder if you had one before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure every kid's probably fell and bumped their head at some point, so whether they got a concussion from that or not, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the league who seem to survive through, I'm sure, bumps in the head when they were little. So if you really want to go back, though, I did hit my head playing wall ball.
But that wasn't a diagnosed concussion. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Well, I'll have to go ask the doctor that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
You didn't run into the dryer.
Huh? No.
Let's do one more.
Sid, are you sensitive to the balance between keeping the media aware of how you're feeling and those kinds of things, and at the same time not being a distraction, or wanting to not be a distraction to your team?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, well, first and foremost, that's the most important thing. So, not being a distraction. So, that's number one on the list. I understand my responsibility. I think I've been doing this long enough to know that if there's information to give, it's part of my role and the responsibility that comes with what I do to provide that, and I've always been willing to do that. But I think if there's no information to be given, then I'm not going to give any. I'm not going to make something up, and on top of that, I'm not going to, cause distractions or create distractions because of that. So, that's always my thought. That's the most important thing, and whether it's trying to come back to help the team or doing what I have to do, handling that stuff, that's the most important. So yeah, that's something I'm pretty conscious of.